We are here at Psy Tek laboratory to do an experiment using a very interesting device called the gas discharge visualization device, also has another name called the EPI, the electrophotonic imaging device. So we have it here, and we're going to do an experiment where we're going to test the effect of a certain bracelet on a subject. The machine, the gas discharge visualization system, is a device that comes from Russia, and it's based on Gaetan photography. Gaetan photography comes from a long history. It started in the 1930s in Russia, where this couple, their name was Gaetans. They were playing with high voltage on plates and photographic plates, and also with leaves. And so they were creating corona discharge of these leaves, and they were photographing them on their photographic plates. It turns out that they had an idea of cutting a piece of the leaf and try again to see what the discharge looked like, and to their amazement, the discharge included the entire leaf. So we are here working with this system that has been developed over the years based on this concept by other scientists, especially Dr. Konstantin Korotkov. And we ourselves are going to investigate also the phantom leaf effect on our own and try to replicate that. But apparently the Russians have gone ahead in this direction and have this device that is pretty interesting that we're using in our investigations, has thousands of publications in Russia, and so it's been validated by the Russian Ministry of Health, and so it's worth investigating, and that's what we're doing here. So we're going to do this experiment first. We're going to have Mike here. I will explain what you have to do. And it's very simple, so I entered your information. So what we're going to do is, this device has a quartz plate, and underneath the quartz plate there's a camera. This camera will capture the glow of your fingers, because you're going to put your fingers one after the other on this photographic plate, starting with the right thumb. This device here, or this, is just to guide your fingers so that when it comes through, it has the right position. The idea is that your finger will be touching the plate as follows: not flat, we don't look at your imprints, fingerprints, not straight up, because then we have the nail mainly, but somewhere in between where we get the fleshy part. And in order to avoid, since you're going to glow light, because there's a high voltage that will be generated, but for a short period of time, and it's not coming in contact with you. But still, it's going to generate a glow around your fingers. So what we want to do is have the glow of your fingers, not of the environment. So that's why we're using this thing. So if you would, please, Mike. It might be best if you stand up for doing this, because of the angle that the fingers do. So if you would give me your right hand and put it through here. So what I would like is for you to put your right thumb there. So I'm going to just close this already. And we're going to take pictures of the glow of your hand, starting with the right thumb. So let me know when you feel you touch the glass and you have a good position.
I think I do.
Great. Yes, you do. It looks good here too. We can see it. It's round, and it's a very nice glow. So let's do the same with the index finger.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, it's good. The middle finger.
Okay.
Yes, excellent. Then the ring finger.
All right.
And the pinky.
Okay.
Very good. So switch hand. And let's start with the left thumb.
Okay.
Index.
Ready?
Okay, middle.
All right.
Ring.
Okay.
and pinky.
All right.
Okay, so we've done this series of images. Now, we're going to take another round of the 10 fingers. This time, I'm going to put a plastic filter on top of the quartz plate. According to the Russians who developed this, and they have done much research in subtle energies, this plastic prevents some of the energies that come from out of your body to be registered by the equipment. The theory behind that is very complex, and we do not have time to do that. But basically, when we do that, we're going to take only the fingerprints or energetic fingerprints of your physical body energy. While before, when we took it, it included not only the physical body, but also other components more subtle, like related to your emotional state and even your thought process, and maybe even the spiritual state. We don't know. But we know that there's some higher energy process happening that are cut off with the filter. Okay, so we're ready. We start with the right thumb.
Does it matter which side is?
They both work.
Okay.
I've seen that numerous times happen.
Okay, go ready.
Okay, next.
Okay.
Next.
Ready?
Next.
Okay.
And the pinky.
Okay.
Switch hand.
Okay.
Next. Next.
All right.
Next.
Okay.
And next. Okay. So we're done with the measurements before the experiment. Let's have a look to understand a little bit what we're looking at. So first, you have here the original images of the 10 fingers. They're just white because it's a black and white camera, it doesn't capture colors. You can see that they are divided in sectors. In the case of the right thumb, 1 to 8. These correspond, according to the Russians researcher who did research on this, to different organs in our body systems. It's based on the Sujok acupuncture system, which is a Korean type acupuncture system that is mainly related to the it basically says use the hand to monitor the energy of the entire body, just a bit like iridology for the eye and auriculotherapy for the ear. And so this is a similar system that is used. And they tested it over in Russia for about 20 years before coming up with this definite model. So next, what we do is that we enhance the visibility of the different intensities of light by changing the colors. And so we make this, normally we use this color, which is called the energy palette, because it helps us see better the different intensities. So the different colors correspond to different intensities of light emission. And here's an example of how they look in a printout with the different body parts being identified. So this comes with a report normally. So next, what the machine does will calculate, remap basically all these 10 fingers around the body so that it looks like an aura, but it helps us have an overall picture of the energy field of the person. Here we go. So we have two pictures, one for without filter and one with filter. And so there's two numbers that you see up the corner here. One is called area and the other is called symmetry. Area is the area that is colored here. It's a number of pixels. And the area here is 22,946, which is a good, shows sufficient energy on your part. It's considered that a person has sufficient energy when they're above 14,000. So at 22,000 is very good. And the symmetry is 93%. We want a symmetry above 80%. Above 90% is excellent. So you're at 93, so this is good. So this is for the energy field without filter. If we look at the one with filter, it's even higher, 25,005, and a symmetry of 93%. So this is a healthy energy field, no doubt. So maybe we can print these. We have also side views. We can look deeper into that when we do a report. Then we're going to analyze the data in a different way. We will compare it with normative data to other people your age, gender, etc. How you compare in terms of energy for each of the organs that this system can actually see. So we're going to go into another program called a diagram. And so we see here two circles, one on the left side of the body, one corresponds to the right side. And you see also surrounding the inside the circle 3 colors, so actually 4. You have dark pink, green, and yellow. The green region is the normative region. So if you are in this region, your data is considered to be normal. If you are in the yellow region, it's an excess, and if you are in the pink region, it's a deficiency. So, and we have two rings, or for each one of them, or 2 circles. One is red, the other is blue. The red corresponds to without filter, and the blue corresponds to with filter. So we can see that both without and with filter for the left side are pretty close. And these are the different organs that the system could see. And we can see that you're pretty healthy. There's nothing much in the pink area. The descending colon is a little weak, but not in the physical body, a bit emotionally here. A little bit also the nervous system. But overall, it's a good size energy. And also this number A is called the activation coefficient. It's 2.34, which is in the norm. Between 2 and 4 is in the normal range. It's an index of stress. So you're pretty relaxed right now. Your stress level is not too high. So we're going to print this. We're going to close this one. Now we're going to see the data into even another light. This light comes from a research that was done actually by the founder of the California Institute for Human Science, Dr. Hiroshi Motoyama, who mapped out the connection between the meridian system and the chakra system. So we can say something about the function and the activity of the chakra system based on which meridians are functioning and how much energy there are in them. Dr. Korotkov, the inventor of this machine, came here in the 90s and actually read Dr. Motoyama's books and thought that it was pretty interesting and incorporated that into his software. So we're going to see what your chakras, basically the activity of your chakras look like. I know that they're not going to be, they're very well balanced. So you're a pretty healthy guy, It's going to be hard to improve on this, but the top bars here represent the size of the balls. As you can see, the biggest one is the red one. And then the size of the ball represents how much activity there is in the chakra. And the other one down here represents left and right positioning. You are inside the green regions, and there's very little change here. So that means your energy is well balanced, left, right. Okay, so we're going to print that too. And now we're going to have the intervention. So I guess you're going to wear a bracelet of Nick's choosing. Any suggestion on what we're expected to see, maybe? Now that you've seen what the machine does?
Most of the observations with what to expect come in the consciousness field of, psychological influences like feeling more confident, feeling more calm. So you're relating more to the bio field, and that's not something that commonly comes up in feedback. Sometimes people notice an improvement in digestion and are less lethargic, but primarily introspectively, the commonality of people's feedback is that they notice that their life becomes more interesting, they're more energized, the nature of their interests change and become slightly more sattvic or high-minded, I would say would be the common feedback. What would you relate to that, Michael?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I feel like when I wear the bangle, I felt like I was more impacted by things, like normal everyday life became more meaningful, maybe like catching deeper meaning of things, and also more mental clarity, I felt, and it was sort of that realm of things I was experiencing.
I think if it does measure it, then what Michael said about mental clarity, definitely there seems to be more mental stamina where a person who wears the bangle often conveys that they have more mental energy. In other words, they don't get as tired doing, say, long car drives or working late into the evening or things like that. They tend to sleep less as well. So those would come closer to the bio side of perspective.
Okay, so let's see if we can, shall we wait some moment, or are we ready?
I don't think so. I think it's fairly immediate.
Okay, so let me just take off the filter here, and I think we can go ahead and get started on the next measurement. Okay.
Ready when you are.
Okay, so starting, index,
Okay.
middle,
Okay.
ring,
Okay.
and bingy. Switch hand.
Okay. All right.
And middle, ring, bingy. Now, ready?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
All right. Okay. Okay. All right.
Okay, we're done. So we're going to compare both. So this was when he came in before wearing the bangle, and this is with wearing the bangle. Now it looks like the energy has decreased from 22,900 to 18,794, and the symmetry has decreased from 93 to 82%. So what I interpret this to be means that it definitely has impacted the field. Okay? And if you look at the physical body, we were at 25,005, and now at 23,951. The difference is very small. It's only about 1,000, which is less than 10%. So this is pretty much the same energy physically. And the symmetry was 93 and 93. So it hasn't impacted the physical body's energy, but it has impacted the psycho-emotional components of your energies. Now it looks like this right now, but it doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean positive or negative. It has, what it means, it has impacted your field. So this thing is doing something. What I'm seeing most of the time when there's an energy treatment like this is that the energy field is impacted, and then the energy field start to recover and to become even better than it was before. So we would have to follow you for a day or two to see what would happen to the field. But the important news here is that there's the field, this bangle seems to have definitely an effect on your energy field, especially on the emotional, psycho-spiritual part of the field. And so that's what we can tell at the moment when we see this. We go a little deeper into the diagram. So let's show the without filter. See, the with filter, they are very similar. The with filter is the ones with only the physical body component. So if you look at them, even, you know, the rectum was a little high, and they're very similar. See, slightly high energy in the right kidney. Very, very similar. So hasn't impacted your physical body's energy. But we can see a big difference in it. Now we can tell which areas of the energy field, the psycho-spiritual part of the energy field, has been influenced. It's mainly on the left side, the spleen, and on the right side, the spleen, the mammary glands especially have been impacted. So something related to the processing of thoughts. In Chinese medicine, the spleen, stomach spleen, is not only related to digestion of food, but also to processing ideas. It's like they're saying in Chinese medicine, you know, too much worry will wear out the energy of the spleen. What I found doing research is this is not only worry. Students, for example, who have lots of exams and use their mind a lot will wear this energy. So in your case, this energy is good, but we can see from the power of that bangle that it's affecting this area. And if the bangle does a good job, what it will do, it will strengthen this area, and it will be even more powerful than it was before. So I've seen that in other healing modalities. So it would be interesting to follow up on this. But it's definitely impacting the psycho-spiritual, emotional psycho-spiritual part of your energy field. Very powerfully, I would say. Okay? And your activation coefficient at 2.34 shows again that you are relaxed, hasn't changed much. Then, if we go at your chakras, how they've been impacted. So this is how they were before. This is how they are now. So the chakras that have been mostly affected are the heart chakra and the Swadhisthana chakra. So the heart chakra is, in fact, there's even a chart that we can look at that explains. So the heart chakra is related to basically empathy, you know, the connection with others, and also love for self and others. And this has been impacted, so there's something about this area that is being worked on, basically. And the second chakra, which relates to the Swadhisthana, which is about creativity, and the processing is related to the elimination and reproductive organs, but it's also about base security. So these are being impacted and worked on at the moment. So it would be interesting, as I was saying, to follow up, see what happens in the next few days to your energy field. I am pretty convinced that we should see a very interesting improvement based on your own feeling about using those bangles. But it remains to be seen, but it is certainly certain that it did impact your energy field, and just like Nick was saying, it's impacted not so much the physical, but it impacted the psycho-spiritual, emotional part of your energy field.
One of the commonalities that we observe, not with every client, but maybe 1 in 5 clients, is that when they put on the bangle initially, there's what I call the integration process. And I often say this, it's like a mantra. I say to the individual, well, your name's John, and you know what John thinks, you know what John likes, what he does, how he processes the day, and you're so used to that after so many decades that you're set in this bandwidth or pattern that has a certain vibration. And when you introduce something like an instrument into your biofield that's trying to change that rate of vibration, your thoughts get slightly disorientated, and your mental makeup gets slightly challenged for a temporary period of time because you're going through an integration. And when you finally integrate, you get more comfortable with this different rate of vibration, then you normalize and go into a new form of homeostasis. And that's when you really enjoy wearing the bangle. But sometimes at the beginning, I even had one lady say to me that she went into a restaurant and she just couldn't read the menu. She was just too disorientated. She was a very extreme case. She suffered from severe depression, and bangle had a lot of impact on her, but she had a much wider gulf to travel to get to the integration process. So I'm just wondering, I don't know how to interpret what you're looking at clearly, but I'm just wondering if some of that anomalies going on.
That's basically, in other words, what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
That what I'm seeing is big impact on the psycho-spiritual body, not so much on the physical energy, but on the psycho-spiritual part of the energy field, and we can tell which one are impacted, and that they could be, readjustment to a higher level of functioning after that. It's actually powerful already. It's actually just this one is already powerful,
Right, sure.
to affect this energy field like that. So I would like to add that this is an example of one of the many devices that we have to measure the human energy field. This one is easy to assess, rapidly the status of the energy field, and to at the same time see changes. We have other machines that can actually monitor real-time the change of flow of energy in the meridian systems. We have machines that measure biophoton emission. We have medical thermal imaging, and we offer services to both, medical people, to clients, and also to researchers who have new inventions. I hope you found that we've done today interesting, and maybe we'll do some more in the future. Thank you.
Yeah, it's very much a new set of languages.
Yes.
That go outside the conventional way of thinking and the conventional experience of modern medicine.
Yes.
To a great degree. So even though you've introduced this to me before, Gaetan, it's still quite a transition in my understanding, trying to relate to what you're seeing and what I'm trying to understand. So thank you very much. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael, for being a subject.
Oh yeah, thank you.